Yeah, guys, my name is Adeja Adeboale, and it's the best sporting show the whole of the universe. Is New Season to Sports. We call it 60 Minutes with New Season Star, and we'll be discussing a whole lot of sports coming from across the globe, from the boxing world, from the we're not going to be digging too much into basketball today, but boxing is definitely going to be something we'll be talking about, and of course, football world. The El Clasico came up this weekend. We all saw what happened at the El Clasico. We'll be giving a brief analysis of whatever it is that happened at the El Clasico, and of course, what happened in England with the Manchester Derby. Roma versus Inter Milan, of course. My name is Siladega Adeboy. Like I said, this show is airing, of course, on News Institute sport YouTube channel, and of course on our Twitter and do on our TikTok, and of course on our Facebook. And this show is proudly sponsored by iBookenzo Glam, and this show is also airing on TV with Queen's Talk TV, and of course plus what do you call it again? A band radio scope, the number one Canadian online radio. Shay, I'm going to allow you introduce yourself to the fans at home. Give us a brief introduction of what's up with you today. I call him a little bit side anyways, and of course, it's a good one to to enjoy him. Come up with us.
Yeah, sport fans, good day to you all, and good to be back on the show this week. And welcome to the Sporting Week or weekend once more. Not a bad weekend for sports.
Yeah,
Uh, Enjoying the boxing bout between Francis Ngannou
Francis Ngannou
and Tyson
and
Fury,
Tyson Fury. Yeah,
battle of the baddest in Riyadh. I'm sure we're going to discuss that very soon. Also, seeing a fantastic game of football at the No Camp, the El Clasico really lived up to to one of
to
his
the billing.
best in
Yeah,
recent, yeah, one of his
mhm.
best in recent times actually. And seeing the young man Jude Bellingham trying to dust up the records of Cristiano Ronaldo
Yeah.
in
I
Real
think
Madrid. He did,
Jude is basically
yeah,
washing that off.
I think the boy is the real deal, and
Yeah, 100%.
quite a lot of kudos to what he's doing at the age of 20, just a tender
20 years
age
old.
of 20.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, the Manchester Derby, which obviously is not a good topic for me to discuss. However, we are
Yeah.
going to discuss it today. Welcome, everyone.
All right, perfect. For everybody asking on TikTok that what exactly is going on up here, it's News Instant Sport is our show where we talk about sports, anything sports. We'll be starting with the Francis Ngannou Tyson Fury match. The bout, it's for me at first I thought it was going to be a comedy show, like we've had with Tommy Fury, the brother of Tyson Fury versus KSI. I thought it's going to be another Jake Paul or Logan Paul match again, where you see these guys, the guys that got money off whatever it is that they got their money from, doing what they know how to do best, making fun of the sport. But it was a different ball game. Tyson Francis Ngannou showed that he was actually ready for the bout. Came out all gun blazing. Shook the world, shook everybody, shook myself. Like I was so shocked. I thought, okay, this is a fight that is going to be remembered for a very, very, very long time because yo, it knocked out Tyson Fury. We said this before on the show that it's possible he's going to knock out Tyson Fury, but we never thought it was going to be. I don't know. We know he's an heavy puncher and whatnot. And Shay, my grooves or what I don't like basically is the fact that ever since I started watching boxing, the fact that they leave the decision into the hands of just three people that might have their own prejudice, that they might have their own whatnot, you know. And they came out. The first one gave Ngannou the match. The second one was so there was a big disparity with it. It was a split decision by just 1 point. He gave Tyson Fury 96 punches and Francis Ngannou 93. I don't know how he came about that with what we saw. And I was telling my friend, I said, "Are we watching the back of the TV right now? Because I don't understand how." how this came about. She give us an insight into it. What you think? What you think happened?
Okay, let me just start by addressing the scoring of boxing in the first place.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that'll be
scoring
nice.
of the boxing basically goes um, it's called based on rounds, rounds per round.
Yeah,
So the most dominant boxer earns 10 points,
yeah,
and the less dominant boxer earns 9 points. If there
okay.
is a foul or a deduction,
Hmm.
the whoever that has heard is going to get a point deduction. So there's possibility of having 10-8. And also, if there's a knockdown, that's also similar because it's a point deduction or point gain for the dominant boxer. So
Yeah,
that's how it's been. Uh, 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 that's definitely the way it's going to be scored from
yeah.
round one to
Right.
wherever, if it's 8 round match or 10 round bout or a 12 rounder. Then they sum everything up to get whatever 90 something or 120 something, depending on the number of rounds.
Number of
And
rounds
that
that we
was
have
what
in the long
happened.
run.
I would also like to just discuss a little bit about the bouts. The build up was quite awesome.
Yeah,
I've not seen a promotion for any boxing match that big in the world.
that
We
massive.
have to
Yeah,
give the kudos to the Saudi promoters. It's
yeah.
definitely that they are sending a message to the world that they are bringing sports and entertainment to the kingdom.
To the
And
desert.
it's something we need to look out for, because I
Yeah,
can see these guys, they have deep pockets. They have the money to spend to
to
bring
Spain
any
and
fight
yeah,
or any entertainment down to Saudi Arabia. That's a good one for sport lovers. It's also a good one for athletes. I think it's an opportunity for them to also earn. Look at Francis Ngannou. I don't want to say he has been suffering in UFC, but you
yeah.
definitely cannot
It definitely
compare
have been. Yeah,
what they earn in UFC to what they earn in boxing. And I think opportunities like this is going to, help a long way for these athletes. And going back to the bout, I would also like to say that coming into this bout, we need to understand something, that Ngannou really has nothing or had nothing to lose. And I think the pressure is quite less on his side coming into this bout. Tyson Fury, on the other hand, should be definitely would be wary of
very.
an upset. He is the undisputed, he's a linear champion, heavyweight of the world, the biggest name in boxing. So I think that is also there. Also, we need to put into consideration that Tyson Fury would definitely not really prepare properly against Ngannou. The way he's
That
going to prepare if he's
that is
fighting,
lost
if
against
he's
his
fighting, if he's fighting an Usyk or fighting AJ or the likes, we need to know that. Another thing also is that they all knew, probably we sports boxing followers knows that this is like an exhibition bout.
yeah.
To just step up the undisputed fight, which is also coming up in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And I think all these things really add its own what's it called
Metamorphose
its
into
own
yeah,
metamorphosis into that particular bout. Number one, Ngannou really does not care. If he loses, no issues. If he wins, big deal. But the pause is already there for him. So he came out there without no pressure on him and was able to do what he knows how to do. And the few things the great Mike Tyson was able to put,
to teach him.
into his brain before the bout, did fantastically well. Had a knockdown on that should be the round three.
Yeah,
And
I'm not
also,
free.
if you see his defense wasn't so bad, and that's part of what I was able to pick up, and I think that's fantastic for Gano. If he wants to do maybe more in the boxing ring, it might really do well, because he's number one is fearless. Number two, I think he has a very, very tough chin. He was able to take quite a lot of punches from Tyson Fury without feeling as if it was going to go down. So
Yeah.
I think those things worked well for him. He just did a 10 rounds bout with the best heavyweight, and it wasn't showing as if it was tired. So those are the things I think are going to go on well from Ghana if he wants to go a step higher in boxing. Now
Yeah,
talking
definitely.
about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, I think he underestimated this man a little bit. I need to say that, and he was taught a good lesson. I think he needs to understand his opponents, train properly, and enter the bout. Now back to the scoring. For me, totally, I tried as much as possible to score this without having any sentiments. Either
Hmm.
Ghana is coming from UFC or
Yeah.
whatever. I
Uh-huh.
think the fight was actually quite close, no doubt about that. Because I think the cleaner punches a little bit more should come from Tyson Fury. However, when bouts are quite close, there's always a deciding factor. The deciding factor actually leans towards Ngannou because he got a knockdown.
Knockdown.
Therefore, um, to the surprise of everybody, uh,
They gave it to Tyson Fury. They don't want to
giving it to
bring
Tyson
boxing.
Fury
They don't want
looked
to give.
too
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
yeah,
It looks
like a
scripted to
wrong
me.
decision.
Yeah. It looks.
But we have to put at the back of our mind that Saudi Arabia, trust me, they are building towards the undisputed bout. That
Yeah.
is
True
for
that.
them bigger than this. Tyson Fury cannot go into that fight losing the fight.
Losing the fight. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
supposed to be the linear champion. Now you want to bring a UFC fighter to take the linear champion. I don't think that was going to happen. So
That should not be
for
part of
us,
the script. Yeah. I get it.
Exactly. It was not part of the script, and they were not going to break that. So for us, or for Ngannou, he should take that. I think he did very, very well.
Very
If he
well.
wants to go into the sports, I think he's going to do quite well,
He's going to.
and
I definitely. I know he's going to beat
and
AJ.
make
Anyways,
people proud.
he's going to beat AJ. If he does not beat anybody, he'll beat AJ. So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of that. At the end, said that AJ is going to take Ngannou down in 3 rounds, and he's going to take Fury down in 6 rounds.
oh,
Anyway,
nice. That that
if
that
he's
that in their
if
in
he's
their
ready,
dr- in their
if he's ready
dreams.
to put his money there,
Yeah, where is
I
Maltese?
don't know.
Let's see that happens. Anyways, from there we jump straight to the world of football, where we had a couple of actions over the midweek in the Champions League. Um, it was a busy day for Manchester United. The one against let's see Copenhagen at Old Trafford. Lucky if you ask me. Of course, Bayern Munich defeated Galatasaray 3-1. Maro Kali scoring the first goal before it was sealed later for Bayern. Bayern note did not play exceptionally well. They were kind of, they were more clinical. And the quality showed. Arsenal defeated Sevilla away from home. A difficult match for Arsenal, if you ask me. Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli scoring those goals for them. Jesus was exceptional on the day. Inter Milan defeated RB Salzburg 2-1. Napoli defeated Union Berlin 1-0. While we have Barcelona defeating Shakhtar Donetsk 2-1. Of course, Feyenoord defeated Lazio 3-1. A bad one on the part of Mario Sarri, if you ask me. Newcastle could not compliment on what they've been doing so far in the Champions League, losing to Dortmund, the erratic Dortmund at home, 1-0. Uh, RB Leipzig defeating say Vanda 3-1. Manchester City, as expected, thanks to Helen Ireland, Brace defeated Young Boys away from home. PSG defeated Milan 3-0. Atletico Madrid played a 2-2 draw against Celtic, and of course, Porto with Everton scoring an hat trick defeated Antwerp 3 4-1. Shay, I was just going to go or run down through all the groups, and I'll be asking your opinion as I go. I mean, Group A, Bayern looks to be secured right now with 9 points. They're going to be playing the next game against Galatasaray at home. Um, Gala are on 4 points right now, and Manchester United will be traveling to Denmark against Copenhagen FC. Copenhagen FC right now have 1 point, United 3, Galatasaray 4. while Bayern has 9 points. What do you think is going to come out of this? Of this,
Yeah, I think United trying to redeem themselves out of this group, and it's going to be quite a late kind of comeback. We shouldn't be in this group. I think they are going to follow Bayern Munich out of this group, even though it's going to be very
very,
hard.
very difficult.
But I think they have enough. The quality, maybe some of the players might also be coming back from injury that might just help them to just cross the line to the second
Mm.
round. They've been
Okay,
having a wonderful season.
all right. So you're saying you're calling Bayern and Manchester United for this one. In the Group B, we have Arsenal leading right now with 6 points, closely followed by Lens with 5 points. Sevilla, we all know what the plan of Sevilla is. They want to drop to the Europa League and go win the Europa League again. They are on 2 points right now. PSV are on 2 points as well. Arsenal will be hosting Sevilla in the first week or second week of November. And of course, Lens will be playing against PSV. How do you think this is going to be panning out? And why the striker for Lens, has been catching my eye? That guy is one marvelous and good striker, if you ask me. Do you think Arsenal have enough in the Arsenal to cross the line in this group and ahead of Lens, or it could be another disappointing campaign for them by coming second in this group if they're not careful? You're currently muted, Shay.
Okay, yeah. I think Arsenal did themselves the best, what's it called, service by going to Sevilla to take a very good 3 points
Three
there.
points, yeah.
Coming back home, I expect nothing but another win for them. So for me, I think they should be topping Group B.
B.
Lens and Sevilla will probably be the next team that we can think of. Lens, it depends on whatever they do against PSV in the next round, because I know that Sevilla will definitely look for maximum 6 points after playing Arsenal, and
Mm.
it's quite dicey between the two. But I think Sevilla is just going to make the second position there,
Second position in this one.
but definitely Arsenal is going to top this group.
All right, perfect. Real Madrid, Napoli, Braga, Berlin. Looks like Real Madrid might be winning. They have 3 out of 3 right now. Napoli 2 out of 3. Losing against Real Madrid 3-2. Braga has won just one of their games against Berlin. Why Berlin has 0 points right now? Seems like Berlin is going nowhere. Braga might have the outside chance, especially if they can go to Italy to take a point, to take a win, to get a win in Italy, and be on the same point with Napoli. Real Madrid, of course, looks like. Sorry, okay, Braga is traveling back to Real Madrid, so that's a dicey one for them, especially if they lose against Real Madrid and Napoli defeats Union Berlin at home. That would be a good one for Napoli. I feel it's straightforward. Real Madrid and Napoli for this one.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And the way the games are coming, it's perfectly, set up for Napoli to be able to follow Real Madrid there. They're
Yeah.
able to pick a win against Union Berlin, which we can
Yeah.
say
An
it's
easy
not
one.
settled yet. I think
Yeah,
Napoli, they've been also inconsistent a little bit this season, so we
especially in
can't
the league.
totally, yes, especially in the league, we can't totally push Union Berlin away. But I think that's a decider. If they're able to pick the 3 points, it's going to put them in a better position to just,
To
follow
do.
Real Madrid out of this group.
All right, perfect. And of course, Real also said that had the surprise team if Benfica were last season, and I'm quoting the commentator in the game against Benfica, between Benfica and Real Sociedad. If Benfica were the surprise team last season, Real Sociedad with Kubo, Zumendi, and of course, what's the name? Mendes are the surprise guys right now, bossing it around week in, week out in the Champions League. They have 2 wins and 1 draw. Inter Milan 2 wins and 1 draw as well. So they are on the same number of points with Inter Milan, leading by goal difference. Salzburg with 3 points, while Benfica has 0 points right now. So it looks like Real Sociedad, Inter Milan for this group. And of course, in Group E, Feyenoord surprisingly are topping the group ahead of Atletico Madrid. Lazio, following their disastrous outing against Feyenoord, are on top points but have 4 points. So they will be playing against Feyenoord in the return leg.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they could get a win there, it will put them ahead of Feyenoord. Uh, dicey, what do they call it? Dicey group, if you ask me, yeah. Celtic played a 2-2 draw against Lazio as well. So for all you know, we might be having a difficult one on our hand right now, especially if we have Celtic defeating Lazio. Sorry, defeating Atletico Madrid.
Atletico.
Yeah, which is very very possible, and maybe Feyenoord and Lazio play out a draw. What do you think is going to happen here?
Anyway, I think it's still going to be Atletico. If you notice, Atletico have been very good this season. Before this particular Champions League match, I think they've been on six straight wins, all competitions, and they got a red card. Got a red card in the game against Celtic,
Against Celtics?
and yeah, that's part of what culminated in them actually getting a draw in that game. So I
Yeah,
think they are going to win their next match, probably the next two. Feyenoord will probably be my second choice.
points
I
ahead of
saw what
Lazio.
those boys did against Lazio, and I think they play much more as a team
Yeah.
than the way Lazio played.
Okay.
Maybe we can say Sarri started with a wrong first team. He needs to change that in the second leg. However, I think the Feyenoord team plays much more better as
More
a
better as a
unit.
team. All right. Perfect. And in the game of in the group of deaths, we have PSG defeating Milan 3-0. Milan has been able to play two draws, which basically puts them in a precarious position. But they're on 2 points, which means if they can get a good result against PSG, they might be in for a good thing. Newcastle on 4 points, Dortmund on 4 points, and PSG on 6 points. What do you think is going to happen at the end of the day? Because this will be decided mostly
On the
by
last
the
day,
game between, yeah, mostly if PSG can get the edge against Milan,
that throws
gets to
Milan
nine
out.
points, yeah, gets them to 9 points. Dortmund and Newcastle playing a 1-1 draw or a score draw, whatever draw, putting them on 5 points. That means PSG will have 4 points ahead of them, right? So that will change the dynamics of the group. Who do you think is
Yeah,
going to go out, come out
yeah.
tops in this group?
I think this is the group that no one knows what is going to happen. Uh, the way it is, PSG losing two next two matches can put them at the bottom of this table.
Hmm.
So it's still balanced as it is.
Assistants.
Yes. However, if they are able to defeat Milan in the next match, and either of Dortmund and Newcastle fail to win that
To win
return
that
leg,
game, yeah,
it actually is going to give PSG a kind of secured access to the next round.
to the next round.
But the way it is, I think PSG looks good to qualify, and
Hmm.
Dortmund, Newcastle. Oh, it's quite tight between them.
Between them.
I think one of them will follow PSG in this group. I'm seeing
Okay.
AC Milan out of this group. I hope Kachi is not watching. And my mind speaks Dortmund actually.
That's
Dortmund
one.
following PSG.
PSG. Okay, perfect. And of course, we don't have to talk about the next group, which is the Man City RB Lesbian group. Looks like it's secured. Young Boys and Cavina have just 1 point apiece. I don't see anything, unless a miracle happens, I don't see anything good coming out for them. In Group H, we have Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk. Barca right now has 9 points, three out of three. Porto 2 out of 3, and of course Shakhtar 1 out of 3. While Antwerp have conceded a whooping 12 goals while scoring just three. So Antwerp basically are out of the group. All things being equal. Barcelona looks to be prime. They just need to win one game and maybe probably two more draws or win two next two games and be secured. already, having defeated Shakhtar. A beat being a labor victory against Shakhtar Donetsk, but they are playing the next one against Shakhtar as well. If they should get the 3 points against Shakhtar, that means it's sealed and delivered for them. And Porto, if they can defeat Antwerp, which is expected of them, should be sealed as well. So I see Barcelona, Porto coming out of this group.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Shakhtar Donetsk, unless they can do the unthinkable
Yeah,
and defeat Barcelona in the next round of matches. Otherwise, I think Porto should have a clean sweep against Antwerp, and
against Antwerp.
that seals it.
All right, perfect. And of course, we'll come back to England right now, where we'll be talking about the English Premier League, and we are going to be starting with what happened today? The Manchester United derby. United lost at home yet again. Everybody expected them to lose, given their poor run of form over the past couple of weeks. They've won a couple of games against Sheffield, a bit being a labored victory. So the general play was not encouraging. So lose playing against Man City at this particular point in time is very wrong. But we've seen situations where Manchester United have not been playing very well, but playing against Man City just gives them it just turns into a different ball game. A good start for Manchester United, and that penalty came. I don't agree with the penalty if you ask me. I don't in any way, form, or fashion. I feel I think it's a penalty, but it was too harsh. If we have to uh, make a mountain out of molehill on each occasion, I think we'll have at least two penalties in every game, every weekend in the world. It wasn't like Rodri was trying to score, the ball was not going through was him, it was just a talk of shit and all. And this is the Manchester United derby. Let the game flow. And for some reason, Portieri, like we all know, is not the best of referees when it comes to using emotional intelligence. Give out that penalty to Manchester City, and that set the board rolling for them. And if you ask me, United actually played very well. I think in the next in the first 20 30 minutes before the penalty, they stuck to the game plan. Couple of missed opportunities, especially from Rasmus Holland, not being decisive with his pass
Mhm.
or his stamina on those occasions. But overall, this is another setback for United. This is another way. How long would we? I know we always like to blame the Glazers when things are going wrong. How long are we going to blame the Glazers? Are we going to say it's the Glazers' fault for this as well, or we would actually say, yo, ETH, it's about time you stand up and start being counted right now.
Um, yes, I think it's about time to start asking questions. However, I think he has a little bit of excuse. It's
Excuse?
not that I'm trying to. Uh, it's not I'm trying to
Make one for him.
make one for him or even accept his excuses, but there are footballing reasons, and I take them for that. He keeps saying that he does not have a stable back four, and that gives him issues. It gives him a balance, a balance headache, because he tends to use people out of position in the defense. He prefers to build from the defense, and right now he's using an entire makeshift back four. And
Okay.
he mentioned also that last season there was no anyway to the larger part of last season he had
Yeah.
a back four that was stable. He had Wan Bissaka on the right,
Mm-hmm.
Varane and Lisandro Martinez in the middle, and Luke Shaw. And whenever he wants to rest them, he's able to use Malaysia and use um, the Portuguese right back once in a while.
Dalo.
Switch, yes, Dallo switch him with one Bissaka depending on the opponent, and it shows that there was a little bit of understanding in that particular back line, which means anybody that is out of position, knows the person that covers. But right now, to him, is using almost like a makeshift, and that is the basis of it. He is
Hmm.
unable to make better decision with his central midfielders because his defense is even not stable at the moment. So that is a little bit affecting his game. However, you can't really make much what's it called excuse for him when he can even beat the lowest of the lowest teams in the league. Talking about Sheffield United struggling to beat them, struggling to even beat Copenhagen in the Champions League, if not for the heroics of Maguire and
No,
Onana.
no, no, no.
Those are things you look at, and you have to start asking questions of the coach. If you feel these players cannot give you what you want, you can go to the bench and bring the guys that can do it. You can starting. It took him some time before he started using McTominay and Maguire as a starter. So in the first place, you shouldn't have done that since you had this issue. And we can see that for the last three matches, those seems to be his best players, so far. Also, the other issue with him facing quite a lot of issues with Sancho is another thing that has also affected the player.
But it costs that anyway. So
It might, yeah, it might not be out there, but you definitely know that within the camp, there are still some players that
grumbling.
definitely do not agree with the way things were handled and the way things are actually panning out. We are hearing that the young man has been alienated from the
Yeah,
entire group. He doesn't
yeah,
eat where
yeah.
they eat, does
Mm-hmm.
not even mix with the junior players, let alone the senior team.
Those are players.
So they're treating him like a virus. And that shows that you have a particular house that is a little bit divided. All those
Divided
things also show up on the pitch
on the
of
pitch.
play. So there's a lot for uh, 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 what's his name, the coach
ETH
to
to
ETH
try
to
and
handle at the moment. And I
uh-huh.
think the best thing for him is to start winning games. Those are the ways these other issues can go away, and
They can be forgotten.
you
Yeah,
can forge ahead
like
from there.
like he did last season, and it was lucky he got away with it. Cause throwing Ronaldo under the bus. If the guy continues, I'm pretty sure by next season we'll see him throw someone else under the bus. Aston Villa
Mhm.
defeated Luton Town, who are primed to be relegated. 3-1. Brighton played a 1-1 draw against Fulham. Liverpool played a 3-0 win at home at Anfield against Nottingham Forest. But the guy to be talked about right now is Dominic Saboslai. Saboslai has been wonderful. The way he plays the ball is, my God. The guy is worth definitely worth more than the 63 million quid that was paid for him. Wolverhampton Wanderers played a 2-2 draw against Newcastle. But the talking point in this game would be that penalty that was conceded by Huguan in the game. That was definitely not a penalty. His leg did not even touch the Newcastle guy. The guy fell. VAR was checked, and they came back to say that was a penalty. I know these are things that everybody want to talk about, and I think we're tired of talking about it as a matter of fact. But it's something that things need to be given for things to change, right? And this should be reviewed again because this is not an all important game. This is going to be go under the radar. People are not going to talk about it so much. But of course, in Nation Starter Sports, we'll bring this kind of issues up. And of course, everything won against West Ham 1-0. Looks like everything are coming up right back where
Yeah,
they belong. Yeah.
I think I want to say something about the VAR scene.
Okay.
It was it was quite surprising because
Yeah.
I watched the game and I was wondering why it was taking too long to make that decision. And recently they mentioned that they 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 want people to know what they are discussing.
Mm-hmm.
Today's game, the Manchester Derby, there was two. Apart from the first penalty that was given, there was
Right.
another one that Maguire pulled Alan, I think,
Yeah.
and the decision, the VR decision, was mentioned right in the game. that
Mm-hmm.
the foul was inconsequential to the gameplay. So for me, I really want to know what the message is for that particular Wolves and Newcastle Newcastle
Match.
game, the penalty, because it's everything was so clear that the guy only touched the ground, hardly even had
Exactly.
the touch, and
Exactly.
and everything was there to show that this guy was even asking for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything was there.
Yeah.
So
More like a dive if you ask
like
me.
a dive. So we don't know what VAR does nowadays. We don't know how they give all these what's it called, penalties.
Crazy
I'm
decisions.
beginning. I'm beginning to think there's so much pressure on these guys, and the pressure is actually making them make some silly mistakes. I don't want to give excuses, but I think this thing happening every now and then, week in, week out, is too much. We've not is You can hardly say, okay, this particular week, no issues with the ref,
Issues. Yeah.
no
With the ref.
wrong decisions, or no wrong VAR, what is it called,
Review. Crazy
interference
review.
and
Yeah.
all that. It's shocking, and we're talking about the best league in the world right now, the most entertaining, the most
Yeah.
watched, the
League in the
most
world. Yeah.
expensive. If VR decisions are not really, important, then I don't understand. We might say this game doesn't matter. It really matters, because I think the likes of Wolves now losing Neto in this particular match might be fighting
Mm-hmm.
relegation.
Yeah.
This
Exactly.
type of 3 points might be what will save them.
Yeah.
This the a type of 0 points, potential 0 point for Newcastle, might actually be what would decide between
The
who's going to go
Champions
to
League.
Champions League or the Hero. So it's
Yeah.
something that's supposed to be looked at.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. And of course, another one where VAR did their magic was the match between Bournemouth and Burnley. Burnley picking up their first win of the season against Bournemouth, picking up their first win of the season thanks to that marvelous and crazy goal by Billing. I love that guy. It might not be that the most athletic guy, but the guy is really good. Against Burnley, Burnley had a goal ruled out by Rodriguez, ruled out for offside. At first, VR came to say, oh, it was an offside. They came back to say it wasn't an offside, and came back the third time to say it was an offside and chalk off the goal, ending the game in 2-1. Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Eddie Nketiah scored an hat trick. But the guy that I want to talk about in this game would definitely be Declan Rice. Declan Rice, I believe, at the start when it was when it moved to Arsenal, or when the fee was agreed with Arsenal at £100 million, if I'm not mistaken, with a £5 million adds on, which makes it £105 million. People were like, okay, this is too much for a guy that has just one year left on his contract, and that includes me, as a matter of fact. But because it's English, maybe not. But the perception has changed almost, and this is just October. The league started in August, but the perception has changed. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's scrutinizing him because he comes out and plays his heart out every single game. Interestingly, Martin Odegaard was put on the bench for this particular encounter. Um, Eddie Nketiah, captain, the skippered the I said the Eddie Nketiah, Bukayo Saka skippered the team to the game and gave the captain's armband to Eddie Nketiah after leaving the pitch, which looks good from an hill end to another hill end. But the guy that I want you to discuss here will definitely be Declan Rice. How great has Declan Rice been so far for us now?
I think Declan Rice is one of the reasons why Arsenal is still having. I think that should be the unbeaten record intact so
Mhm.
far, and we can say that again is influence at both ends of the pitch. He has
Yeah.
scored goals, he has created goals, he has
Hmm.
stopped goals. He
Hmm.
has, he has really improve the transition from the defense to the attack. And guess what? This is the same thing we've been seeing when it was at
West
West
Ham.
Ham, right? And the only question was, why would someone pay 100 million pounds, 100 million quid
Yeah.
for a midfielder, not a goal scorer? And we've always known, it has always been there, that goal scorers definitely are the ones that go for that kind of amount.
Amount.
But when you look at the Arsenal team, I look at aging Jorginho and Thomas
Thomas
Partey.
Partey. Yeah.
There
Ever
was
enjoyed Thomas Partey?
I enjoyed Thomas Partey. I think he wants to go to Juventus now. There was a need to get someone to tick in that midfield. And the good thing also is that the young man is around 25 years there, about
Yeah.
of his peak of his career. And I think this is the time to get that kind of player. He has been fantastic so far this season. Just like you said, when they pay quite a lot of money for you and you perform, everybody forgets. Anthony today, the issue with Anthony is that amount of money.
Yeah.
Because if United paid 40 million, nobody will come up to say
Yeah.
anything.
Exactly.
The
It's like
issue, the,
Fabio Vieira. Nobody was
yeah,
even discussing
nobody is
right.
talking about Fabio Breer, and that was the same issue with the Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivorian winger
Pepe.
that turned out to be
Nicolas
Pepe, that
Pepe.
turned out to be a flop because of the price tag. So definitely, if you have the price tag and you're able to perform, that you know keeps all the issues
Issues. Yeah.
and the doubts. It
I
reduces
check.
it.
Yeah. It
But to
reduces.
be
Yeah.
sincere, when you look at players like Declan Rice, you know that they know what to do on the pitch of play.
Yeah.
Most times, they complete an incomplete team.
Yeah.
And you guess one thing again about Declan Rice? He's hardly injured. Such
Yeah.
players are a gem.
Yeah, but so the last question I will ask you before we move to yet again another defeat for Chelsea would be, should Declan Rice be named the new assistant captain for Arsenal with Martin Odegaard? He has the skill, he has the impetus, he has the leadership acumen, the way he talks on the field, and he did it for West Ham after Noble. Is it Noble? I forgot it. No, not Noble. I've forgotten the name of the guy right
Yeah,
now. Retired.
it's after
Yeah,
Noble, it's Noble.
yeah. So he has done a wonderful job. Do you think he should be named as stand captain right now?
I think for Arteta, that's a decision for the coach. I think Arteta wants to keep the whole team together. We've seen some decisions also across the whole league at the beginning of this season.
Uh huh.
United making decision to drop Harry Maguire
Harry
for
Maguire,
Bruno Fernandes. Chelsea picking James and Chilwell as captain and
captain
vice
and stand
captain,
captain.
and Liverpool making decision with Dak. I said Dak with
Trent Alexander-Arnold and VP
Arnold and the Dutch and the, Van
VVD,
Dijk. Van Dijk, the captain, Alexander Arnold, the
the
vice
vice.
captain. Why not Salah? Salah is the captain, is the most influential player in that team.
Uh huh.
He's the captain of his national
National team.
team. If you're talking about Liverpool, I think everything revolves around Salah. He's their best
Yeah.
player for the last 5 or 10 years, bar when Gerrard left Liverpool.
Uh huh.
So if you also look at that, but these clubs also look at I think the tradition also in
Mm,
regards to the team,
yeah.
players that come from the youth team,
Yeah.
they like them to become, captains because later on they're definitely going to become ambassadors
Ambassadors for the
for the
team.
club. So those are the things that come into play. So as for me, I think it is early for Ateta to make that
To
decision.
make that
Declan
decision.
Rice, without the band or with the band, is a leader
He's
in
just
that
on
team.
the
He
pitch.
has done it in West Ham, just across the town. And right now, I'm very sure is the positivity and what it gives to the team is okay for now.
For now.
If it happens that maybe one of the bigger stars in Arsenal tend to leave to Real Madrid or Barcelona,
Uh
then
huh.
I think a Declan Rice might one day be the captain of Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't think Declan Rice will stick around that long at Arsenal. He's going to move to bigger team. Trust me. Of course, Chelsea. Talking about Declan Rice, we'll move to Chelsea. Chelsea missed out on this one. They were the one that sent Declan Rice away from that team as a youth guy, for him to go to West Ham. Chelsea played yet another defeat against Brentford, and the problem was not the overall play for Chelsea. Chelsea played well. I know it's insane when you say someone played well, but they lost 2-0, you know. And let's just say 1-0 because it was the rush of blood on the head of Robert Sanchez that made them consider second goal. I don't know what he was doing, trying to go score. Maybe it was inspired by the Lazio goalkeeper. I don't know what he was thinking. Anyways, they lost 2-0 against Brentford. And is it high time that Chelsea breaks the bank for Victor Osimhen? They need a striker. The team is crying out for a striker. And it's evident that they need a striker. That Jackson, of course, I was part of the people that he fooled. I'm not going to lie on the show and come here that he did not fool me. He fooled me during the preseason, maybe because of the impact of Nkuku. I don't know, but he definitely fooled me. That guy is not a striker. And even after the match, he had an altercation with one of the Chelsea fans. That like, yo, you need to wake up. And I think he's sleeping. He's sleeping on it, and it's becoming unbecoming, and it's not acceptable at this not a club of this stature right now. Do you think Chelsea should break the bank and get a striker right now, or because for all you know, Kuku might come back, and we don't know what kind of Kuku will come back.
Yeah, and it might also take some time for Nkuku to also settle down. He was unable to start the season properly,
Uh-huh.
despite playing the
The preseason.
preseason. So you still want to see an Okunku that is trying to, number one, come back from injury.
Uh-huh.
You need some time. Apart from that, settling into the team, because
So yeah,
preseason is also not settling. It's just for you to just get a kind of run of games and
exactly,
stay fit and
exactly.
all that. So Nkuku might just not be the player that will change the fortunes of Chelsea
Hmm.
immediately. However, I don't know what the FFP for Chelsea is saying at the moment. If they need to offload before they can buy any striker. For me right now, anybody that is going to buy Osimhen might be looking close to 80 to 90 million pounds to get Osimhen. Napoli really, they are not ready to sell, but they are ready to make money.
Yeah,
That's the truth, especially with what went down this earlier in the season as regards the TikTok
the TikTok issue.
video
Yeah.
issue with Osimhen. We might be seeing Osimhen leaving Napoli soon. However, we saw what these guys did with Koulibaly. Everybody wanted to buy Koulibaly for a lot of money.
For
They held
yeah,
back until
they
they
held
collected
on him.
what
Yeah,
exactly. So for Chelsea, they need this. This is what they need. They need someone to put the ball at the
or
back of
even
the net.
it could be even be Ivan Tony, because
Ivan
Ivan Tony
Toney,
is going to come back in January, and
yes, Ivan Toney
he's
is
going to
going to
get
come back
2
in
goals.
January. Yes, but we don't know if Brentford is going to hold back or he wants to also take uh, uh, that leap forward.
Hmm.
However, Ivan Toney is close to 30. I think he's a 20, 29, 30-year old
Okay, all
footballer.
right.
It's going to be
I
a
like to
bet,
check that.
yeah, it's going to be a better investment for the likes of Chelsea
Chelsea.
to get Osimhen. But let's see how it pans out. They need a striker very, very, very soon. And I think Osimhen
Okay.
definitely one of the opportunity one of
Continue.
the open what's it called for them nominations for them.
Nominations. Yeah,
Ivan
Ivan
Toney,
Tony is 27 years old.
27.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney, yeah, I think that's a peak age also. Coming back
Uh-huh.
from in 8 months, an 8 month
Ban.
ban, he might be
Yeah.
sluggish at the start. But Tony is a goal scorer, and I think he's also a very good
Very good. Yeah, it's
acquisition.
going to be a good option for them as well.
And if you
If
ask me, Debo also, I think United should also make decisions right now. Is it that if you are not playing Anthony Martial, I think you should leave the club and get another striker. You need a second striker when Oilon is not firing. He's a 20-year-old boy. You can't put a lot of
Pressure.
responsibilities and
Yeah, yeah,
pressure on him.
that's true.
And
But the
we,
problem
we
is
can we can
you
see the
guys bought
talent, we can
you
see the
guys bought him
pace.
for 72 million quid. I don't know how soon you can you know
Anyway,
he
he's
needs to
still
start firing.
United need two
Yeah,
strikers,
definitely.
no doubt about
Most
that.
most
Guys that
definitely.
can put the ball at the back of the
Back
net.
of the net. Most
Olam
definitely.
is young. He's going to do well, but we
Yeah.
need a second striker. And Ivan
Right now.
Tony might also
His
be
experience, his Premier League experience and whatnot. But of course, Tottenham Hotspur maintained their unbeaten run by defeating Crystal Palace away from home, 2-1. You know, when you go to Crystal Palace, it's never easy. So right now they're on 26 points, closely followed by Arsenal and Manchester City and Liverpool. The surprise team that makes the top five right now is Aston Villa. They're on 22 points. They've lost just once in the last 5 games. Uh, says a whole lot about Aston Villa right now and the wonderful job that Unai Emery is doing in the Premier League. That's just 4 points away from the top and just 2 points away from the top two. And of course, a good one would be the Air Clasico. Our Classico does not have that vibe that we like we wanted or like we are used to. But Jude Bellingham shone light back on a Classico. A bit Eke Godigan scored an early goal. A bit the mistake by David Alaba yet again. David Alaba now looks more prone to errors than not making errors these days. Unfortunately, I love David Alaba. This is not a slight on David Alaba, but of course, you always have that blitz in your career where things might not just work the way you want it to. Jude Bellingham came to the rescue, but it wasn't Jude Bellingham that actually changed the game. It was the introduction of Kamavinga and Modric. Modric, everybody have been saying Modric probably will go to Saudi Arabia, but the guy that I saw on Saturday does not look like it looks like a guy that can actually retire at Real Madrid and do his thing till he's like 40 years old. They just need to manage him maybe 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes per game, you know, load manage him and whatnot. But Jude, who is going to be the golden ball winner later this month, I think in 2 days' time, 3 days' time, will be the golden ball winner. Um, Gave a good account of himself. The first goal was marvelous. The second goal was instinctive and it changed the narrative of the Clasico, giving it to Real Madrid. Jay, the floor is yours. How happy should I be with Camavinga, Modric, and of course Jude Bellingham? Because those were the three game changers personally for me.
yeah, definitely. I think the Real Madrid fans and I think the hierarchy, they are quite lucky to have Jude Bellingham in this team. Um,
For that fee. I think it just cost like 83 million or so.
yeah, thereabouts. Yeah, we're talking of a 20-year-old
Yeah, kid.
wonderful footballer. But like you said, they struggled quite earlier in the game in that midfield
Hmm.
until the Don brought in the
Luca.
the midfield generals, talking about Luka Modric and Kamavinga, and you can see that their transition, they are putting together the passes from the midfield at that
Change
point
almost
really
immediately.
changed, and they were much more threatening at that point. Most of the build up from then on was almost getting into the box of Barcelona and troubling the goalkeeper at that point. And obviously, we've seen Bellingham do this thing almost every week, popping up and scoring goals when Real Madrid needs them.
Uh-huh.
However, my question, my big question to the Real Madrid hierarchy is, when are you going to sign a striker? It will get to a point where Bellingham is not going to push Real Madrid. It's
I
a
think they just
long,
I
it's a
think they just
long.
need to they just absolutely just need to trust Joselu. That's what they need
It's
to do. At least for now.
That's what you think.
Yeah,
I
I think
anyway.
he needs to say trust Joselu because, and this is my reason, playing
Okay.
Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior as striker is not working. Those boys are two natural wingers. They like, not let me say natural wingers, left and right forward. That is where they perform most. Playing them in the middle as strikers gets them crowded. They prefer to isolate themselves against one person, use their pace and their dribbling skill, compared to a Vini in between two big center halves. So if you trust Joselu, that Joselu might do the job for you, for starters, at least until you get another striker or you get the striker that you deserve. Play
Yeah,
Joselu through the middle and play Vini and Rodrigo uh flanking in. Yeah,
flanking
at
and
least
Bellingham
that's
behind
yeah,
the three.
exactly,
Bellingham has actually showed that he can play virtually like three roles in central midfield.
exactly.
He
Yeah,
can be the box to box. He can be
box. Yeah,
advanced, and he can also be the holding midfielder
yeah.
when you want him
What the
to
need
be.
be? Yeah,
Exactly. So I think they have a good personnel there. But however, they need your salute to start firing. Yeah, I mean week in week out.
week out.
Without
Yeah,
that, there will be a lot of pressure on the other
on
teams,
Jude
and
Bellingham. Yeah,
also that will drag Bellingham much more forward than needed. And there's possibility of holes in that midfield that they can punish Real Madrid with.
by me for yeah.
I still think they need to get a striker that can score
Definitely,
them
I agree with you.
goals week in, week
And
out.
the,
I
and,
mean,
and
the
the only
likes of
striker that I can think of that they should get is Erling Haaland.
anyway, I don't think they can get that from Man City at the moment. But let's see how it goes.
Everybody
But I
wants to
think,
go to everybody
but I
wants to go
think
to Real Madrid.
to,
That's the
I
truth.
mean, when the
Everybody
money
wants,
comes, man,
yeah,
you
when they
can't
want to
say
come.
no.
You can't refuse the whites. We are Madrid, Ala Madrid. I should even buy a Real Madrid jersey right now.
Chelsea,
Oh,
right?
say bye bye to Arsenal forever and be a Real Madrid guy.
I think
Uh
Arsenal is going to win something big this season, but let's see how it
Arsenal.
goes. Yeah, they look
Did you say
it.
Arsenal? What are they going to win this season?
Something, but
Like what? Like
let's
FA
just
Cup or the
let,
league or
let,
the
let,
Champions League?
let's
Okay.
wait and see. I think they're a
Okay.
contender for the league, no doubt about that.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Contender for the league.
They put the target. Yeah.
The Champions League. Let us see how it goes. If inexperience is not going to
Did
play
you
its
hear
part,
what McAlowen said after their game against Sevilla? Owen
I
said,
don't.
I know Owen is a was anyways, but Owen said he can think of just two teams better than Arsenal in the whole of the Champions League. I'm like, okay, yo,
Oh, really?
you're
Which team
putting
and
it
which team?
definitely Manchester City
City, yeah.
and Real Madrid.
And maybe Real Madrid.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, yo,
maybe.
you're putting a target behind this boy's back yet again. Yeah, yeah, because Arsenal actually put the target on their own back off their impressive run last
Season,
season. Yeah,
yes.
because I was thinking about it when
Completely
I
agree.
was watching the Classic and I saw Cancel. I thought, oh, this guy could have come to Arsenal if Arsenal did not challenge Man City for the league last
Yeah,
season.
yeah,
They would
yeah.
have given it okay, you can go anywhere, you go to Arsenal. Arsenal is not going to be a contender. But like, no, they are contenders now. This guy can change the
Major,
whole narrative. Yeah, they are
major
major
contender.
contenders. Yeah, they can change the whole narrative. We're not going to threaten you guys. It's not going to happen again. Because they gave Arsenal just Jesus and Zinchenko. That's all Arsenal had from Manchester City, and they almost changed the narrative for them, except for if not for because of the injury of William Saliba and their own inexperience that came to play
Yeah,
again last season.
yeah,
Anyways, Arike scored from the middle of the field again that match where they won 8-0. The game was still nil-nil by the at 80, 56 minutes, but they won eventually 8-0. Dortmund played a 3-3 draw yet again, a disappointing draw. Leverkusen are still the top of the league right now. They won their game away from home 2-1. So things are looking a little bit. At least let's have a bit of life in Germany till Bayern Munich wins. Yeah, and I was like, okay, if Manchester United should go to Germany, where do you think United will finish? If Chelsea were to go to the present Chelsea, if they go to Germany, where do you think they will finish? Both Chelsea and Manchester United
I think United will be mid-table. Likewise, this
In
present
Germany.
Yeah, and the present Chelsea team, definitely they don't even really have the
I
confidence
was say
to win that.
I was saying definitely United. This present United, wobbly United, will be top two if they go to Germany, and Chelsea definitely will be top four in Germany.
Chelsea top four, I doubt it.
That's what I think. I stand to be corrected. It's just my opinion. I was just thinking about it. Anyways, that's a wrap of the show. My name is Lalija Adeboy. Thank you very much, Iya Jai, for staying tuned and helping us up the show today. Till we see you again next week. Have a good sporting weekend. A good sporting week, as a matter of fact, not weekend. The weekend is over. Bye, guys.